Hi, hello and welcome back to F1 Challenge VB. My name is Mephisto and our journey through the history of Formula 1 continues today with the 7th round of the 1969 season, the German Grand Prix. It was held on the 3rd of August, it had 26 entries, 21 of them took part in the race with 9 ending up retiring. The race was held over 14 laps and was completed in 1 hour, 49 minutes and 55 seconds. Jackie Higgs started the race from pole with Stewart in second. Rindt was third on the grid but retired on lap 11 due to an ignition problem. Seifert started from 4th but had an accident on lap 13 in which he broke his suspension. Holm was 5th on the grid but retired on lap 12 with a transmission problem, and Vic Elford started the race from 6th but had an accident on lap 1 and had to retire. Higgs drove superbly to win the German Grand Prix from Stewart, who crossed the line 57.7 seconds after Higgs. McLaren climbed from 8th into 3rd, he was 3 minutes 21.6 seconds behind. Hill climbed from 9th into 4th, he was 3 minutes 58.8 seconds behind. Henri Pescarolo finished the race in 5th, however, since he was driving a Formula 2 car, he wasn't eligible for points, thus the points were awarded to Seifert, who was classified in 11th. And Richard Atwood rounded off the top 6, but since he too drove a Formula 2 car, wasn't eligible for points and thus his points were awarded to 12th place Beltois instead. Welcome to the fascinating Nordschleife circuit, where a lap starts off with a long run down into turn 1, a tight left-hander, followed immediately by turn 2, a tight right-hander. This brings us onto a long straightaway that ends with turn 3, a medium-speed left-hander. Later on we come into a medium speed blind right-hander. Be extremely careful as going too fast through here could result in crashing into the foot of the bridge situated at corner exit. Later still we come through a slow left-hander that crosses a bridge. Be careful not to crash into the sidewalls. A handful of corners later we come through another slow left-hander that also crosses a bridge. Once again be careful. This leads into a slow blind right-hander that goes up a steep incline. After a while we come into the carousel, one of the most iconic corners in motorsports. Slow the car down and feed it through the ball. Take your time and make sure not to use too much power, as that could end your race. Later we come into the mini carousel. You can take this corner at a higher speed, but you should still be careful. This leads into a long right-hander that leads onto the longest straight in Formula 1. This ends with a slow left-right chicane that brings us around onto the main straight, and that is a lap around the Nordschleife circuit. And here we are in qualifying for the German Grand Prix, coming around to set our first and only qualifying lap. A 8 minute 18.481 seconds. That's not all that good, but we have to work with it. We're nearly 1 minute slower than current pole time, and I went a little bit wide through turn 1 there, but that doesn't really matter since I'm not going to try and go for another qualifying lap just because this circuit is so damn long. Anyway, here are the previous German Grand Prix winners. Last time Andy won here was in 1965. So it was quite a long time ago. Hopefully this time it will be a little bit better. Obviously, since this is his last race here, it would be nice to see him do well, maybe even win. But we'll have to wait and see. And we have Jackie Higgs on pole, starting from pole with Bruce McLaren in second, third Jochen Rindt, followed by Denny Holm in fourth, fifth is Jean-Pierre Beltois, sixth, and rounding off the top 6 is Graham Hill. Then in 7th we have Jackie Stewart, followed by Joe Seifert in 8th. In 9th we have Pierce Carriage, and in 10th we have Jack Brabham. Then in 11th we see Silvio Moser, followed by Chris Amon in 12th. 13th is Pedro Rodriguez. 14th Andy Higgs. 15th Jackie Oliver. 16th Mario Andretti. In 17th we have Derek Bell. 18th Basil van Rooyen. 19th is Bill Bragg, 20th LPs, Sam Tingle 21st, 22nd Vic Elford, Joe Bonnier 23rd, 24th John Love. Then in 25th we have John Surtees, followed by John Courts in 26th, 27th Johnny Servoz-Gavin, and bringing up the rear of the grid we have Peter de Klerk in 28th. So that is the grid lineup for today's race. Hopefully it will be a good one for Andy. Obviously we've been doing quite well so far this season, and I would expect to do well today as well, because, well, why not? And we are off, and immediately the Lotus behind me crashes into me, and I kind of had to slow a little bit down just to make sure I don't crash into anyone else, and that caused me to lose a bunch of positions. We are now down in 19th as Sam Tingle gets around us on the outside there. Now through turn 2, can we overtake a couple of positions? Can we regain a couple of positions? I would like to say, as we come out of turn 2 here, can we overtake Derek Bell? Yes, we can. And we overtake Sam Tingle as well, so that's 17, back in 17th. Can we get Mario Andretti into turn 3 here? No, not quite, a little bit too far behind. I didn't really want to dive bomb, that would have been quite bad at that point. And here is the replay of the start. We see Mario Andretti there crashing into the rear of our car. Luckily nothing bad happened, so that's good, but we still lost a bunch of time and a lot of places. I was also trying to be a little bit careful coming into turn 1. Obviously you don't want to destroy your race before you even reach the first corner. But with that said, we have a long battle ahead of us. The race is long and we have to try and gain as many positions as possible. And here's the replay of Vic Alford, who seems to have some problems with his car, apparently some electronics problems, and unfortunately his race is over before it even began. Later on lap 1 I managed to overtake Andretti for 16th, and now I'm looking at Van Rooyen at an opportunity to overtake him. However, it doesn't look like it will happen anytime soon, as we go a little bit later on lap 1 here, and I slightly tap the rear of Jackie Oliver's car and then proceed to overtake him, and we're following Van Rooyen once again. We're now in 15th, doing quite well. Still lap 1 here, and we finally managed to overtake 2 positions. We overtake Silvio Moser, that's 13th, and we're doing quite well at the moment. Lap 2 now, and we caught up to Chris Amon. Can we overtake him? Yes we can, and that's 12th place, continuing to move up the field. That's very good, that's what we want obviously. Well, now we are chasing after Jack Brabham, and we reach lap 3 here, where Jack Brabham embarrassingly misses the carousel, and he goes wide, which allows us to move up into 11th as we take a look at a replay of Peter de Klerk, who has some sort of a brake problem. He pulls to the side of the circuit, and that is the end of his race. As I go a little bit wide there, touch the curves, which froze my car all over the place. I had to slow down, and that allowed Jack Brabham to regain his lost position. However, we are going to stay as close to him as possible so we can regain that position, and we indeed regain 11th very quickly. So we're doing quite well. Well, not as good as we should have, but we are doing quite well as we overtake Pierce Courage for 11th, actually for 10th, and cross the line to set the fastest lap of the race and a new track record, which is absolutely fantastic. As I kind of dive bomb Pedro Rodriguez into turn 1 there. I didn't really want to make contact, but it happened. Luckily we are both okay, none of our cars are destroyed, as we take a look at a replay of Andy Higgs coming around to set a new track record, which is obviously very good for him. And finally on lap 4 here, I was getting a bit desperate to overtake Pedro Rodriguez, and I kind of dive bombed him. That bit me in the ass as I went wide, went into that little hill at the side of the road that caused me to lose control. Here's the replay of it. I go wide there into the dirt mound. I lose control of the car, crash into the Armco, lose my rear left wheel, and that is the end of our German Grand Prix, unfortunately, here on the final lap. I'm obviously not very pleased about the situation, but it happens, so not much to do but to think of what we did and see how we can improve in the remainder of the season, as we take a look at a replay of Bruce McLaren coming around to win the German Grand Prix with X in second, Siffert third, fourth Rindt fifth, Denny Holm, and Jean-Pierre Beltoise finishes in sixth. We obviously managed to set the fastest lap of the race, and as I said, a new track record, which is, you know, very good. And since we retired on lap 4, we actually managed to complete 90% of race distance, which is kind of okay for us, and we saw the 2 retirements two official retirements of the race just there. So that was the German Grand Prix. Not a very good result for Andy or for Volkswagen. Obviously we would have liked to do a little bit better. Although judging by how things went, I don't think we would have been able to even score points this race. It was quite a difficult battle trying to get up through the ranks, even though we were the fastest car on track. But that is it, I guess. So let's move on. And here are the career statistics. This was Andy's 180th Grand Prix. His best start is from first, has 17 pole positions, has set 33 fastest laps. His best finishes in first, has completed 108 races, 84 of them in the points, has won 48 Grand Prix, 4 at the Indianapolis 500, 6 in Monaco, has 8 championships under his belt, has scored a total of 569 points, has retired 72 times, has experienced 3,712 out of 4,663 laps, has 8 bronze trophies, 17 silver trophies, 48 gold trophies, and as an extension 48 podiums. And here is a quick look at the championship standings. Andy Higgs obviously still leading the championship with X now in second, Bruce McLaren in third, fourth Jean-Pierre Beltois, fifth shared between Jackie Stewart and Jack Brabham. The last person with points is Mario Andretti down in 17th, and bringing up the bottom of the driver standings is Richard Atwood down in 30th. So those are the drivers. Let's now move on to the constructors, where we have Pete Lovely, Volkswagen, still leading the championship, but only by a small margin now. Brabham Motor Racing Developments are in second, Matra International third, Bruce McLaren Motor Racing fourth, fifth Gold Leaf Team Lotus, sixth is shared between Owen Racing Organization and Frank Williams Racing Cars. The last team with points are Scuderia Ferrari down in 10th, and bringing up the bottom of the constructors are Jack Holm down in 18th. So that was the German Grand Prix. Quite a disappointing result for Andy, but you know, there's not much we can do about that now. I should have been a little bit careful. I was getting quite impatient. I really wanted to get around Pedro Rodriguez there, but it ended up, you know, backfiring, and in the end I had to retire and, well, end up where I did. So not particularly happy about what I did. Again, I should have been a little bit more patient, waited for a few more corners where I probably would have had a better opportunity to overtake him without risking to retire from the race, but I didn't do that, so that is it. Anyway, our next race is the Italian Grand Prix at Monza. We're looking forward to that. Obviously, it's one of the biggest events on the calendar, so I'm looking forward to doing well there. Hopefully we'll do well, score a few more points, maybe win if we are lucky. Although I'm not holding my hopes too high, because, well, I don't want to jinx myself all that badly. But that is the end of this video. Don't forget to vote for next season's team, and don't forget to vote for a name for Andy's son. Links as always are in the description. Other than that, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Thank you so much for watching, and as always, stay sharp.